Hello and welcome to the Level 1 Series Gala at Wahoo. To get us started, we have the women's under 16 50-meter freestyle. In lane 2 we have Tyler, in lane 3 we have Elise, in lane 4 we have Mika, in lane 5 we have Naima, in lane 6 we have Ella, in lane 7 we have Philan, in lane 8 we have Mia. So as we wait, we just have the officials getting us started there. They're just waiting for a few technical difficulties to get sorted before we can get this gala underway. 50 freestyle, very exciting event to get us started. Very fast paced, very intense. Always a fun one to watch, always very entertaining. So we're looking forward to watching these young women put on a show for us today. Show and display their swimming skills and talents. The up-and-coming swimmers, we'll see there's a few names to look out for in the future, and let's see how everyone performs today. And it looks like we're ready to get started. And there we go, we are underway. We have in lane 6 there, Ella with a great start. She's in the lead at the moment, got about a half a body length on the rest of the field. And take nothing away from lane 2 there, we have Taylor right in the outside lane. She actually ends up turning first there, so great first 25 from her. Let's watch her as she brings it home. She's in the lead at the moment by almost a body length now, but it's second place, lane 6, Ella. Next to her, Philan, and Philan's goggles unfortunately came off. And let's see who takes sway. It's going to be very close, but it looks like it's lane 2, Tyler, who takes that. Very good swim from her on the outside lane. Very exciting first race there, which brings us on to Heat 2. In lane 1 we have Madison, in lane 2 we have Nika, in lane 3 Mila, lane 4 Mia, lane 5 Samantha, lane 6 Tana, lane 7 Sophia, lane 8 Orbel, lane 9 Blakely, and lane 10 Unam. Big cheer from the crowd there. Not too sure who it's for. Confused the swimmers a little bit. It's only the first whistle and they're on the blocks. They got to wait for the second whistle. Judge just explaining to the swimmers there that it's the second whistle until they get on the blocks. And Heat 2 is off. big underwaters there from lane 6, Tana, and she's in the lead at the moment, but she's got lane 3 and lane 4, which is Mila and Mia, right on her tail. And on the far end of the pool there, we have lane 10, which is Onam, who's having an awesome swim on the end lane. She looks to be in second place at the moment, but it is lane 6, Tana, who's about 2 body lengths ahead of the rest of the field. She's having a great swim. See a big 6-speed kick from her as she has her last 5 meters into the wall. She's going to win this race. Excellent swim from her, but it's all a fight for second place. It looks like it's going to be lane 10, Onam. Great swim from her in the outside lane. That surely must be a PB for her. Great swimming and very exciting stuff in Heat 2. That brings us on to Heat 3 of the women under 16 50-meter freestyle. In lane 1 we have Jessica, lane 2 Taryn, lane 3 Cara, lane 4 Gabriella, lane 5 Hannah, lane 6 Leafy, lane 7 Hanal, lane 8 Jamie, lane 9 Anna, and lane 10 Sarah. And Heat 3 is off. We have a big start there from lane 2 Taryn. She's already a body length ahead of the rest of the field as she goes in for her first 25 meters. Great swim from her so far as we see the rest of the field coming through now. And we have the far end of the lane there, lane 9 and 10, Anna and Sarah, who's fighting for second place. Great swim from them at the moment. But it's all about lane 2 Taryn. She's going to win this race by about 2 body lengths. Excellent swim from her, and we can see the rest of the field. It is great tight race between lane 8 and lane 10. Anna taking second place there, Sarah taking third. Very close and exciting stuff. Great swimming from the end lanes there as we see the middle lanes coming through now. We have lane 7 there, Hanel, finishing off with a great swim as the rest of the ladies finish off their 50-meter freestyle. And that brings us on to Heat 4 of the women's 50-meter freestyle. In lane 1 we have Brittany, in lane 2 we have Annabelle, in lane 3 we have Lily, in 4 Isabella, lane 5 Felipa, lane 6 Ashley, lane 7 Eva, lane 8 Anika, lane 9 Avia, in lane 10 Sophie. Some great experience for these young swimmers as the officials also help explain the rules to them. So very beginner friendly, great event here at Wahoo, and some great experience for the young swimmers. And that gets us underway for Heat 4. We've had some great swims from the end lanes, but in Heat 4 it looks like the middle lane's coming through nicely. We have in lane 4 there Isabella, and next to her, lane 5, Felipa, having a great swim so far. They seem to be turning first, going into the first 25. A little bit of a difference there. As you see, we have Isabella in lane 4 opting to go for a touch turn, with Felipa in lane 5 doing a tumble turn. But in the end lane there, once again, we have lane 8, Anika, who seems to have a great swim, a great second 25. It looks like she's just snuck in the lead there. It's going to be a close finish. Let's see if she can take it. And she does. It's Anika in lane 8 winning that race, followed by lane 5, Felipa in second. Great swimming, very exciting stuff. That brings us on to Heat 5. In lane 1 we have Anna, in lane 2 we have Zolike, in lane 3 we have Kenzie, in lane 4 we have Elijah, in lane 5 we have Abigail, in lane 6 we have Paris, in lane 7 we have Nina, in lane 8 we have Jane, in lane 9 we have Lila, in lane 10 we have Olivia. Apologies for the few technical difficulties, but that brings us on to Heat 6. Lane 1 we have Leah, in lane 2 we have Nolana, in lane 3 we have Onika, in lane 4 we have Charlotte, in lane 5 we have Abigail, in lane 6 we have Felicio, in lane 7 we have Chloe, in lane 8 Celine, lane 9 Leah, and lane 10 Landiswe. As we said earlier, very close and exciting stuff when it comes to 50-meter freestyle. We've seen a lot of outside lanes with some tremendous swims, and nothing changing here as we see lane 2, Nolani, with a great swimmer. She's ahead there, about half a body length on the rest of the field, but we have lane 4 and lane 5, Charlotte and Abigail, coming back at her hard. It's going to be a close race, but it looks like it's going to be lane 2, Nolani, who wins that race. But in lane 9, we have Leah with the great swim. It looks like she finished second there. So great swim from her in the outside lane, and very exciting swimming so far. That brings us on to Heat 7. Lane 1, Morgan. Lane 2, Lana. Lane 3, Zara. Lane 4, Paige. Lane 5, Danet. Lane 6, Ayla. Lane 7, Serene. Lane 8, Charlotte. Lane 9, Blay. And lane 10, Likloklo. We see some big splashes on the other end of the pool there, as we have lane 7, which is Serene, pushing really hard, having a great swim as she turns first, going into the wall. And we have lane 3, which is Zara, right on her tail there. But a very good swim coming back hard. That second 25 is lane 8, which is Charlotte. She's having a very good swim. It's going to be a close finish here. We have lane 7, Serene, fighting hard, and she will win that. And a very close second between lane 3 and lane 8, Zara and Charlotte. So very good racing from these young ladies. Very fast and very exciting. And we are now on heat 8. In lane 1 we have Kayleen, in lane 2 Gabriella, lane 3 Delane, in lane 4 Gemma, lane 5 Lalibo, lane 6 Daniela, lane 7 Lunga, lane 8 Kiara, lane 9 Idiara, and lane 10 Ava. Very good start there from lane 4 Gemma, as she has a slight lead on lane 3, which is Dilena. As they go into the turn, very good turn, very fast from lane 4, which is Gemma. That puts her about a half a body length ahead, but she has lane 5 fighting hard, Lalibo coming back hard. She really wants this win. Will it be enough right at the end? And it is lane 4 Gemma who takes it, with Lalibo who takes second there. Very good swim from these young ladies. Lalibo fighting hard at Gemma, but just not enough right at the end. But great swimming from all these young ladies. That brings us on to heat 9. Lane 1 we have Ella, lane 2 Ruby, lane 3 Gabriella, lane 4 Kiara, lane 5 Zoe, lane 6 Rachel, lane 7 Mika, lane 8 Stella, lane 9 Amber, lane 10 Quiani. Very fast start there from lane 7, Mika. Possible false start. We'll have to see what the judges think of that one. But it is lane 6, Rachel, who turns into the wall first. But we have lane 1, Ella, on this close side of the pool, who's having a tremendous swim there. You can see her really pushing hard. But it is lane 6, Rachel, who seems to have the slight lead. Very close race here between the whole field. It's going to be a close finish. And then lane 9 we had Amber, who just snuck in the win there right on the end of the pool. No one saw her, but she snuck it in right at the end, pushed really hard that second 25, and that got her the win. Very well done from her. Next we have heat 10, lane 1 Jade, lane 2 Nicola Bile, lane 3 Zoe, lane 4 Olivia, lane 5 Sarah, lane 6 Yolan, lane 7 Ashley, lane 8 Gemma, lane 9 Romy, lane 10 Sydney. As you can see, as we're getting to these last few heats, see some big kicks coming through, a lot of splashes, very intense, like we said, a 50-meter freestyle race. But it seems to be lane 6, Yolan, who's leading this race by about half a body length. She's had a really great swim, and second place is really tight between lane 3 and lane 7, which is Olivia and Ashley. And it's lane 3 that gets that second place there. That's Zoe, just sneaking in that second place. Great swim from her. She had a big smile on her face there, happy with that one. Very close swimming and very exciting stuff. in saying that, that brings us on to our men under 16 50-meter freestyle. In Heat 1, we have Lane 2 Christian, Lane 3 SJ, Lane 4 Cole, Lane 5 Luke, Lane 6 Jacques, Lane 7 Connor, and Lane 8 DeAndre. The judge there just explaining the rules. First whistle to stand next to their blocks. The second whistle when they go up in the blocks. Like we said, Lane 6, Jacques swinging his arm there. He's ready, he's warmed up. And we're off. And like we said, Jacques was ready and he's having a big swim so far in lane 6. But we have lane 8, DeAndre, with Uso fighting really hard. But it is lane 5, Luke, who has really pushed hard. He's looking at the opposition and now he's really going. Great stroke there as he pulls through the water, creating about a body length ahead on the rest of the field there. Great swim from him so far. As we come to the last 5 meters, it is going to be lane 5 Luke who wins this race and a tight second, but it goes to lane 6 Jacques and lane 8 DeAndre who gets third there. Great swimming from them. As we have the rest of our swimmers here finishing their 50-meter freestyle. Lane 2 Christian and lane 3 SJ. Great swimming from them so far. The crowd cheering them on. And well done to all these swimmers. That brings us on to Heat 2. Lane 1 Mulagisi. Lane 2 Umar. Lane 3 Alex. Lane 4 Samuel. Lane 5 Chime. Lane 6 Neil. Lane 7 Joshua. Lane 8 Joshua. Lane 9 Zachary. And lane 10 Nathan. Great start from there, lane 7 Joshua. Some very good reaction times, but it is lane 5 Chime who's about a body length ahead of the rest of the field already as we're going into the first 25 meters. Very fast tumble turn by him. Very good racing so far. He's just extending his lead on the second 25. He's about 2 body lengths ahead of the rest of the field right now. Breathing every 3 as he goes into the last 5 meters. He's going to finish this 50-meter freestyle off very strong to win the race. And coming in second there, lane 6, Neil. And third place goes to lane 7, Joshua. So very good swimming there. Lane 5, Chime with a slight smile on his face there. He was happy with that swim. He gets a thumbs up from lane 4, Samuel. Both teammates there swimming for the same club. Very happy with their swims there and very exciting stuff. Well done to those swimmers there. Big cheers there from the coach on the sideline. As we go into Heat 3, we have lane 1 Henko, lane 2 Oliver, lane 3 Max, lane 4 Tyron, lane 5 Luke, lane 6 Jonathan, lane 7 DA, lane 8 Olorato, lane 9 Jason, lane 10 Nick. We're just waiting for the clock to reset, the timer, before we can get heat 3 underway. The swimmers waiting patiently, eager to get their 50-meter freestyle underway. As we can see there in the far end of our screen, lane 9, Jason, very excited to get his race underway as it gives us a little bit of a dance. Good start there from lane 4. But it's lane 10 on the far end of the pool there. Nick with a great swim. He's 2 body lengths ahead of the rest of the field going into the first turn. Big swim from him so far. Very nice, consistent 6-speed kick. Very good stroke. No goggles needed as he's far ahead and can't see the rest of the field. But it's a very good race there in lane 4, Tyron, who is in second place. But we have lane 3, Max, who's fighting hard to try gain that second place. He's currently in third, and then in fourth we have lane 6 with this Jonathan, and his goggles have unfortunately come off. But as we've seen, lane 10, Nick winning that race with no goggles, showing us that you don't need goggles, they just seem to slow you down. But a good race overall there from heat 3. Which brings us on to heat 4 there. In lane 1 we have Adrit. In lane 2 we have Christian. In lane 3 we have Patrick. In lane 4 we have Sunyan. In lane 5 we have Leon. In lane 6 Travis. Lane 7 Nokusanathi. In lane 8 Luke. In lane 9 Philip. And lane 10 Michael. Swimmers just asked to clear the pool there as the officials deal with some technical difficulties, waiting for the board to reset before they can get heat 4 underway. We have the swimmers waiting on the edge of their blocks eagerly. They're ready for their sprint ahead. The ladies 50-meter backstrokes have been called to Marshall. That will be our next event after this men's 50-meter freestyle. So that's something very exciting we can look forward to. So stick around to watch that, as it looks like the timer has reset. They're just waiting for it. Timer seems to be playing up today. It's having a slow Sunday. Last week we had no issues with it. Just one of those things. As a swimmer, not always nice when there's a technical difficulty right before your race. Some use it as a little bit of extra time to get into the zone and focus on their race. For others, it does distract them and throw them off slightly. But all these swimmers behind the block look ready. They look calm. We have lane 7 and 8 talking to each other, teammates. They're not fazed by it. They're calm, ready for their race ahead. Lane 2, Christian swinging his arms. He's just already, he's just staying warm. But we are ready and underway for Heat 4 of our under 16 men's 50 meter freestyle. And we're off. Very close race so far, but it looks to be lane 7 there that seems to be pulling ahead slightly as we go into our first 25 meters of the race. That's Nkosanti in lane 7. He's winning this race by about half a body length, but we have lane 4 Sunyan, who's coming back hard, is really pushing to try win this race, and it's very close amongst the rest of the field for lane 3. It's going to be in the touch, but it is lane 7 Nkosanti who wins that race. Great swim from him. As you can see, head back, he's tired. He really pushed hard there, but it was a great swim from him to win that race. He's getting a thumbs up there from his parents. They're very happy with that, so great performance by him. That brings us on to Heat 5. Lane 1 we have Luan. In lane 2 we have Tristan. Lane 3 Rice. In lane 4 Zian. Lane 5 William. Lane 6 Kobe. Lane 7 Diakon. In lane 8 Thomas. Lane 9 Max. Lane 10 Benjamin. Very good start there from Colby in lane 6, as he had some good underwaters to start the race off first, but he has lane 7 Deacon, who's coming back hard at him, who will turn first going into the first 25 meters of their 50 meter freestyle. But it was a very good turn there from lane 4 Zian, who has now grabbed the lead from them by about half a body length. He's really pushing hard the second 25. As we saw, the starts and turns just so important in a sprint 50 meter freestyle. Will it be lane 7 or lane 4? It is lane 4 Zian with the win, and very close for second, third and fourth. That brings us on to Heat 6. In lane 1 we have Adam, lane 2 Shahil, lane 3 Matthew, lane 4 Alexander, lane 5 Matthew, lane 6 Liam, lane 7 Zach, lane 8 Adriel, lane 9 Benjamin, lane 10 Etienne. Very good start from lane 4 the Alexander, and very good dive technique there. Really got some good air and flung himself forward, giving him a good start and advantage as he's next to lane 5 there, Matthew, as they turn into the wall first. But we must look out for lane 1, Adam, as he's in the lead here, winning the race. You see him on the bottom of your screen there. He's winning currently, about half a body length ahead, but he has lane 9 on the far end of the pool, Benjamin. Benjamin really wanting to win this race. It's going to be close between the two of them, but it is lane 1 Adam who takes it. The outside lanes having tremendous swims there, so very well done to them. Very close race and very exciting. Next we have Heat 7. In lane 1 we have Matthew, lane 2 we have Noah, in lane 3 Zane, lane 4 Benjamin, lane 5 Ryder, lane 6 Aram, lane 7 Luke, lane 8 Noah, lane 9 Inching, and lane 10 Cruz. Very big start there from lane 6 Aram with a big 6-speed kick to follow as he tries to find his way into the lead. But we have lane 4 Benjamin fighting hard to gain that first place, going into the wall for the first 25 meters. It looks to be lane 6 Aram who's in the lead, but we have lane 4 Benjamin fighting hard the second 25. It's going to be a close race between the two of them for who gets first place going into the last 5 meters. It's going to come down to the touch, and it is lane 6 Aram who wins that. Very good swim from him. A very close race. Aram and Luke in lane 7 discussing their race. Big smiles from them. Very happy with their results. And that brings us onto Heat 8. In lane 1 we have Caden. In lane 2 we have Lincoln. In lane 3 we have Luke. In lane 4 Dimitri. Lane 5 Calum. In lane 6 Zicheng. In lane 7 Emil. In lane 8 Kent. Lane 9 Max. And lane 10 Talon, excuse me. We have no shows there from lane 5, 6 and 7 in the middle of our pool. But it's all eyes on lane 4, Dimitri, as he finds his way ahead of the rest of the field there. He turns in first by about half a body length of the rest of the field. The wall snuck up to him there. We have lane 10, Talin, who's fighting really hard there on the other end of the pool. He's in second place currently. Very big swim so far. Lane 2 and lane 1 and lane 2, Caden and Lincoln having a good swim there. Very close race overall. And that is the end of the 50-meter freestyle. As we now move on to the women under 16 50-meter backstroke. In lane 4 we have Taylor. In lane 5 we have Kayleen. In lane 6 we have Alice. In lane 7 Mia. As we can see there, they putting in the backstroke ledges. Very nice feature and great to be starting off these youngsters with both the kicker that's on top of the block and the backstroke ledge. Just getting them familiar with these sort of things at a young age. As we know in backstroke, the wall is very slippery. You'll most likely see at school galas, a lot of swimmers tend to slip. Always difficult with the backstroke start. This just allowing your toes to have a bit better grip and essentially get better air, better push off the wall, and overall better start. It's relatively new in South Africa, been around in the rest of the world for quite some time now. Unfortunately, when we were younger, we didn't have these privileges. Would have really have liked that. It really does help, especially the backstroke start and then the kicker on top of the block. It really does help with your back foot, allowing you to push more off that back foot, a bit more explosive power, just better start overall, giving you a bit more power, distance, height. So some great inventions there, and very lucky to have them here in South Africa and starting with them at such a young age. As we wait to start off the women's 50-meter backstroke. And speaking of the backstroke ledge and the kicker on the end of the block, we've seen so far how important those starts and turns are. The coaches always go on about them, but you can see in a 50-meter race, it's a sprint, and it's those fine margins that make the difference. even to the touch. We've seen a few races come down to the touch, and it's all about executing that well. And you can really win a 50-meter race on your start, on your underwaters, on the turn, and on your finish. So all very important, something that the swimmers would want to focus on while training. While they are training, they're doing several turns every session, so it gives them a good opportunity to practice. If they have blocks at their club, it's always very nice to also practice their starts at a young age, get the technique correct at a young age, and then develop that through as they grow older. We're just waiting for the timer once again, but just a reminder here, we are at the level 1 series gala at Wahoo. We're now on the women's under 16 50-meter backstroke. In lane 4 we have Taylor, lane 5 Kayleen, lane 6 Alice, and lane 7 Mia. And it seems like we're ready to get underway here for another set of exciting stuff. 50-meter backstroke, another exciting event. And we are back from our short break. We have our 3 swimmers currently in the water, ready to get us underway. As you can see, they're nice and high out the water there, making use of their backstroke ledge, giving them some good grip. And there we go, we have lane 4, Taylor, with a very good start there. Big kick from her, as you can see. She's about a body length ahead of the rest of the field at the moment. Very good swimming from her so far. As she goes into the wall, she opts for the tumble turn there, executed very well as the rest of the swimmers come through. We have lane 7 and lane 6, Mia and Alice, behind our race leader at the moment, which is in lane 4, who's Taylor, as she comes to the last 5 meters of her race, finishing this race off strong. Very good swim from her, and touches to finish her 50-meter backstroke. Both her starts, turns, and finishes executed extremely well, as we spoke about earlier, the importance of those, as the rest of our swimmers there, lane 7, Mia, finishes her race second, and lane 6, Alice, in third. And that brings us onto Heat 2, which in lane 1 we have Ella, lane 3 Naima, lane 2 Naima, lane 3 Blakely, lane 4 Isabella, lane 5 Mila, lane 6 Abigail, lane 7 Orabal, and lane 8 Mika, lane 9 Philippa, and lane 10 Falan. As you can see there, lane 4 Isabella using that backstroke ledge to get nice and high out the water, as she has a great start. But we have lane 8 there, Miko, who seems to be pulling ahead as she's fighting really hard. But we have lane 4 Isabella, who's in the lead at the moment, followed by lane 3 Blakely, as they go into the turn together. Blakely opting for the tumble turn, gaining her the slight edge on Isabella in lane 4, as she's about a half a body length ahead of the rest of the field at the moment. Very good swimming so far, very close between the whole field, but it is lane 3 Blakely who's going to win this race, with a great touch there as well. And all the way in lane 10 there, Falan, she gets second. And so that's a great swim from her in the outside lane. She's looking stunned there, looking at her parents. They're giving her the thumbs up. That's a great swim from her. All around, very happy with that performance. It's a great swimming from these young ladies. Which brings us onto Heat 3 of the women's 50-meter backstroke. In lane 1 we have Gabriella, lane 2 Anya, lane 3 Jessica, lane 4 Sarah, lane 5 Anna, lane 6 Ashley, lane 7 Samantha, lane 8 Tana, and lane 9 Mia, and lane 10 Unam. We have heat 3 currently in the water, ready to start their 50-meter backstroke. We have the judge asking the swimmers just to stand down there, as the timekeepers may have pressed not their stopwatches, but the button for the timer system. So that's why it seems to stop working each time. So they're just needing to fix that quick before we can get heat 3 underway. Right now, in one of these situations, as a swimmer, you'd want to just, stay relaxed. Luckily, it's not too long. As we get underway with heat 3, got some very good underwaters from the middle lanes, but coming out first there is lane 8, Tanner. But we have the 2 middle lanes there, lane 5, Anna, and lane 6, Ashley, who seems to be leading this race currently. Very good turn there from lane 5, Anna, going for the tumble turn. As we can see, it's a lot faster, as we have lane 4, Sarah, fighting back hard. She lost a little bit of time on her turn there, but she's swimming very well at the moment, having a great race so far. But it's going to be Anna in lane 5 who wins this race. It's going to be close for second and third. Going into second place there, we have lane 6, Ashley, who won that on the touch. We've been talking about how important these starts, turns, and finishes are, and it just shows over and over again just how crucial they are, as it can make or break your race. But very good swimming from all these young ladies so far, as we're going to be moving onto heat 4, which we have in lane 1, Jamie, in lane 2, Hanel, lane 3, Olivia, lane 4, Cara, lane 5, Zalike, in lane 6, Anika, lane 7, Gabriella, lane 8, Paris, lane 9, Leafy, and lane 10, Taryn. Judge just asking the swimmers to stand down. As he's just showing one of the swimmers where to hold, just to help them, give them a better start. So, like we said earlier, very beginner friendly gala, great entry gala. Everyone's here for each other. Once the judges, as well as the timekeepers, parents, coaches, all just want the best for their swimmers. So just showing them the ways, and a great learning curve for these swimmers, and hopefully a great overall experience for them so far. Just to gain experience for racing, as they've been training really hard. Always good to race as well. It's a whole different experience compared to training, and let's see how they do. We have a very good start there from lane 10, Taryn, as she's already about a body length ahead of the rest of the field there. She's having a very strong swim, very good technique there. She's got her head back, very well executed turn, times it perfectly, and some big underwaters to follow. As you see on the far end of your screen there, she's miles ahead, having a very good swim there. Big kick on the second 25, and she'll be winning this race. And in second place there, it's a very close race. In second place, we have lane 3, Olivia, at the moment, but it's going to come down right to the touch once again for second place, as we have lane 4, Cara, fighting for that second place, as well as lane 6, Anika, and then on the far end there, lane 8, Paris, who will grab the second place right down to the touch. And it looks like it is lane 3, Olivia, who grabs that second place. So very well done to her. And that brings us on to our next heat. In lane 1 we have Annabelle, lane 2 we have Hannah, lane 3 we have Nolene, lane 4 we have Brittany, lane 5 Kiara, lane 6 Lily, lane 7 Sophia, lane 8 Chloe, lane 9 Sophia, and lane 10 Eva. Currently have heat 5 in the water of the women's under 16 50 meter backstroke. Been some excellent swimming so far and some more great swimming to follow. Very good reaction time there from lane 4 Brittany, as she has a slight lead at the moment. But she has lane 3 Nolene right next to her there, and on the far end of the pool there we have lane 8, which is Chloe. She's having a great swim with lane 6 Lily right up there with her, but it looks like it's gonna be lane 3 Nolene who turns first. But as you can see, very close race there. On the other end of the pool we got lane 6, 7 and 8, which is Lily, Sophia and Chloe. They all fighting for first place now. It's going to come down to the touch once again. It looks like we have lane 6 Lily as the slight edge as they come into the last 5 meters there. It's going to be a very close race. Let's see who gets it. And it looked like lane 8 at the slight edge. Having some issues with the timer again, but it looked like lane 8 there, Chloe, grabbed it right on the touch. So great swimming from her, but take nothing away from Sophia and Lily. Great swimming from them as well. Very close 50 meter backstroke. Some exciting stuff. That brings us on to our next heat of the women 50 meter backstroke. In lane 1 we have Landiswe, in lane 2 we have Delane, in lane 3 we have Layla, lane 4 Kayleen, lane 5 Kenzie, lane 6 Charlotte, lane 7 Jadine, lane 8 Ayla, lane 9 Leah, and lane 10 Ashley. We have some big underwaters there from lane 3 Layla as she gets her 50 meter backstroke underway. Very good start from her. It's a very close race so far. Very close, very exciting. That's 50 meters for you. But it looks like we have lane 2 Delane who had the slight edge there going into the wall, but lane 3 there Layla with a great turn. So it looks like she's got the slight lead at the moment. But on the far end of the pool, it's lane 8 Ayla who is fighting back hard. She wants this win. It's going to come down to the touch. We have lane 2 Delane who's really wanting that first place, but it looks like it's going to go to lane 3 Layla. She wins that race, yes. So very close there, came right down to the touch. So a very exciting race from these young ladies. Lane 7, Jaden giving a thumbs up to Charlotte there. Very good swim from these young ladies. That brings us on to our next heat. In lane 1 we have Serene, lane 2 we have Elisheba, lane 3 we have Danet, lane 4 we have Lekloklo, lane 5 we have Charlotte, lane 6 Anika, lane 7 Blyle, lane 8 Nina, lane 9 Abigail, and lane 10 Lalibo. Very good start there from lane 5 Charlotte as she takes the lead early, but we have lane 8 Nina who's having a very good swim there, but look out for lane 1 Serene as she turns in first going into the wall. Some big underwaters from her as well. She's about a half a body length ahead on the bottom of your screen there, ahead of the rest of the field. She's having a very good swim, followed by lane 5 Charlotte, who's in second place currently, but it's going to be lane 1 Serene with a big kick as in for the last 5 meters, and it is indeed lane 1 Serene who wins that, followed by Charlotte in second. So very good swimming here. The outside lanes having great swims so far. They seem to be the lucky lanes. The outside lanes we saw last weekend as well, outside lanes seem to be the lucky lanes, as we say, but it's not that. It all comes down to the swimmers and their hard work they putting in to gain these great results. So very well done to them. That brings us on to our next heat. In lane 1 we have Zara, lane 2 Amber, lane 3 Morgan, lane 4 Gemma, lane 5 Queenie, in lane 6 Celine, lane 7 Daniela, lane 8 Romy, lane 9 Ida, and lane 10 Makobal. Very good start there from lane 4 Gemma as she's our race leader at the moment, and a good swim from lane 1 Zara as she's second. We'll see what happens going into the turn after their first 25 meters, and it is lane 4 Gemma with a very well executed turn to extend her lead. She's about a body length ahead of the rest of the field, chased down by lane 1 Zara, but lane 10 Nokobal is having a great race there as she might grab second there in lane 10. Bringing us on to heat 9 of the women's 50 meter backstroke. In lane 1 we have Filoso, in lane 2 we have Stella, lane 3 Mika, in lane 4 Ruby, lane 5 Emma, lane 6 Ava, lane 7 Rachel, lane 8 Olivia, lane 9 Leah, lane 10 Gabriella. Very good start there from lane 5 Emma with some big underwaters to follow, and that gives her the slight edge leading the race in the beginning. But we have lane 6 Eva and lane 7 Ava, chasing her down as we go into the turn for the first 25 meters. In saying that, we have lane 2 Stella with some big underwaters to give her a fighting chance at first place there. She's really pushing hard. She wants that first place. But even next to her in lane 3, Mika is fighting back strong there. But it looks like it's going to be lane 7 Rachel who takes the win. Very close race between all these young ladies. Very good swimming, and we are now on heat 10. In lane 1 we have Zoe, in lane 2 Langa, in lane 3 Jade, lane 4 Kiara, lane 5 Jolene, lane 6 Sydney, lane 7 Sarah, lane 8 Lana, lane 9 Paige, and lane 10 Zoe. As we see there in lane 2 Langa with some very good underwaters there. But it's the middle lanes there that are doing leading our race so far. Jolene in lane 5 as she goes in for her turn. Looks like one of her goggle straps have come off. She just wants to stay calm and not let that affect her. As seems like it's not at all. She's about half a body length ahead of the rest of the field. So great swimming from her so far. She'll win this race. Second place is going to come down right to the touch. We have in the far lane there, lane 9 Paige, who looks like she might get second place. Very good swim from her. She does get second place, lane 9 Paige. Very good swim from her in the outside lane. Lane 5 there, Jolene fixing her goggles. Didn't seem to affect her too much. She had a great swim there, winning that race. So very well done to her. And that brings us on to our men's under 16 50-meter backstroke heat 1. In lane 4 we have DeAndre, in lane 5 we have SJ, lane 6 Luke, and lane 7 Christian. Very good start there from lane 4, DeAndre. As you can see, very high stroke rate from him. He wants to win this race, but he has lane 6 there, Luke, also wanting to win this race. It looks like a great race between the two of them as we go into the turn of our first 25 meter of the 50-meter backstroke. They're both going for the touch turn there as they come back now for their second 25. Neck and neck between the two of them, as you can see on the screen. Going to be a very close race. Come down to the finish. We have lane 4, DeAndre, keeping up his high stroke rate as we come into the last 5 meters. But pushing back hard is Luke, having a great second half of his race. He's going to come right down to the touch once again. And as we can see there, it is lane 4, DeAndre, who wins that race. And second goes to lane 6, Luke. We have our rest of our swimmers here finishing, the crowd getting behind them as we can hear. In lane 5 SJ and in lane 7 there Christian. They're going to finish their race. They're about the last 2 meters left. Very good swimming from them as they touch to finish their race. As we see some big smiles in the crowd there with their swimmers collecting their ribbons, first place ribbons here to our right, both the parents and the child. Very excited about that. It's been some great swimming so far, some ribbons to look forward to. Hang those up in your room, show them off to your friends. Just shows all the hard work these swimmers have put in and some great racing so far. And more to come, so stay tuned. We currently have Heat 2 in the water at the moment. In lane 1 we have Cole, in lane 2 Mulagisi, lane 3 Nathan, lane 4 Joshua, lane 5 Alex, lane 6 Umar, lane 7 Henko, lane 8 Zachary, and lane 9 Connor, lane 10 Jacques. Leading this race going into the first 25 meters, we have lane 4 Joshua as he goes for the tumble turn there and has a very good turn there, giving him the lead. We had lane 8 Zachary going into the wall first there, but lane 4 Joshua with a great turn there, giving him the edge and the lead. We'll see if we can hold on to it going into the last 5 meters of this race. He has lane 8 Zachary fighting back hard, coming down to the touch. It's lane 8 Zachary who had a slightly better touch there, and that won him the race. So very good swimming, take nothing away from lane 4 Joshua as he comes in second there, having a great swim. The rest of the field finishing their race. We have lane 6 there, Omar, finishing strong. So well done to him and the rest of the swimmers. Great swimming so far. That brings us on to Heat 3. In lane 1 we have Shahil, lane 2 Neil, lane 3 DA, lane 4 Olarato, lane 5 Oliver, lane 6 Michael, lane 7 Jason, lane 8 Nick, lane 9 Eton, and lane 10 Samuel. And we are ready for Heat 3 to get underway. In lane 8 we have Nick there. We saw him have a great 50-meter freestyle. No goggles needed. Let's see how he goes in his backstroke. As we see there, Nick with some big underwaters again, as he makes his way to the front of the pool there, leading this race. Head's nice and back, some nice calm stroke with a big kick. But he's followed by lane 2, which is Neil, as Neil turns first, going into the wall for their first 25 meters. Coming out of the wall though, after their turn, it is Nick in lane 8, who's having a very good swim once again. Take nothing away from Neil in lane 2 as he's having a tremendous swim. And on the far end of the pool there, we have Etienne and Samuel fighting for fourth place, because we have in lane 1 Shahil with a great swim there to grab third place. Very good swimming from them. Fourth place going to Etienne in lane 9. Very good swimming from these outside lanes. And as we have the rest of the field, Olarato, lane 5 Oliver, and lane 7 Jason finishing their race, swimming very well, and well done to them and the rest of the swimmers. That brings us on to Heat 4. In lane 1 we have Philip, lane 2 we have Patrick, in lane 3 we have Tyron, in lane 4 we have Zian, lane 5 Luke, lane 6 Adriat, lane 7 Christian, lane 8 Jonathan, and lane 9 Leon, and lane 10 Max. Lane 9 Leon giving the thumbs up to his parents, he's ready to go. Swimmers putting on their goggles. They're ready for their 50-meter backstroke. We have a very good start there from the whole field of swimmers there. All starting off very well as they start to separate now. Still very close race, but it is lane 4, Zian, who starts to pull away there. He's about a body length ahead of the rest of the field with a great turn. Well timed there. As he continues to extend his lead, the second 25 is 50-meter backstroke. In second place, we have lane 6, which is Adriat. He's in second place currently. Third place, it looks like, is Tyrone in lane 3. But we have lane 7, Christian, who's made his way up the field there, and he's looking to grab that third place spot. It's going to be in the touch. So very close from them, very close race. Too close to tell at the moment. We'll have to wait for the results and see. But that brings us on to Heat 5. In lane 1, we have Luke. Lane 2, Max. Lane 3, Adriel. Lane 4, Travis. Lane 5, Thomas. Lane 6, Noah. Lane 7, Rice. Lane 8, Deacon. Lane 9, Liam. And lane 10, Luan. Swimmers for the butterfly being called to marshal. Very good start there from Thomas in lane 5, well timed as he gives himself the slight edge at the moment. But we have in lane 7 there Rice, who is looking for that number 1 spot as he's fighting hard going into the last 5 meters of the first 25 of this men's 50-meter backstroke. But have a look out for Luke in lane 1 as he's trying to gain the lead, and it looks like he might have the slight lead. His goggles came off, he's taken them off. But sneaking up on the field there is lane 8, Deacon, who's fighting for that lead. He has a slight edge at the moment. He's really pushing hard this last 5 meters. He wants to secure his win, and it looks like he's going to, with second place going to lane 5, Thomas. So very good swimming there from these young men. That bringing us onto Heat 6. In lane 1 we have Sunyan. In lane 2 we have Benjamin. Lane 3 Cruz. Lane 4 Tristan. Lane 5 Matthew. Lane 6 Alexander. Lane 7 Luke. Lane 8 Benjamin. Lane 9 William. And lane 10 Nikosanti. We're just waiting for the judges to sort something out before we can get heat 6 underway. Judges just I was waiting for it, so it's a good time. And the Canon one should last longer as well. And we are back waiting for heat 6 to get underway while the judges just fix a technical difficulty at the moment. We had the turns judge walking past us here. It looked like she had a few disqualifications in her hand. So we'll have to look out for those and see if those affect any of the results. Never nice getting disqualified at any age, but it does certainly teach you a lesson and ensure you don't do that again. But it's a good learning curve at the same time, especially at a young age, as the judges just look over the turn judges' call of the disqualifications. They need to be approved by the starter, and he'll sign those off to confirm them. Sorry, not the starter, the referee. The referee will confirm those disqualifications, and then they'll be put through and announced. We'll see how the results are affected, and there we have it. We're ready to get underway again. Some more exciting swimming. Our men's 50 meter backstroke. We are currently on heat 6. The swimmers on your screen. Lane 5 there, Matthew getting himself nice and high out the water, putting his head back. Very close at the moment between the whole field here. As we'll start to see some swimmers edge their way to the front on the second half of this race. As we go into the turn here, we've seen how important those are and the advantages the tumble turn can give you. So any swimmers out there looking for a bit of advantage, learning the tumble turn and executing it well can give you a great advantage. But it is lane 7, Luke, at the moment. He has about half a body length ahead of the rest of the field. So a very good swim from him at the moment. He'll finish this race first as he times his touch well. So very good swim from him overall. As the rest of the field coming through. and a very close race there. Some exciting swimming. And that will bring us onto Heat 7. In Lane 1 we have Adam, Lane 2 Kent, Lane 3 Tallinn, Lane 4 Zach, Lane 5 Enching, Lane 6 Noah, Lane 7 Arim, Lane 8 Matthew, Lane 9 Caden, and Lane 10 Colby. Very well timed start there from Lane 7 Arim. But we see Lane 3 Tallinn fighting really hard here. He's doing well, and he has Lane 2 Kent right next to him as they're going for their turn. All of them opting for the tumble turn. They're all looking for that advantage. But it's Kent with a big underwater there. He's swimming very well. His parents to my left cheering him on. They're looking very impressed with his swim so far. As he's pushing hard, he's looking to impress them. He's looking to win, but he's going to have to fight off Tallinn in Lane 3 and take nothing away from the other end of the field there. Lane 9, Caden, who's also fighting for that first place. We'll see who it goes to. Goes to Lane 2, Kent, winning that race according to the board. So very close swimming there, very exciting stuff, and very well done. And that brings us onto Heat 8. In Lane 1 we have Luke, Lane 2 Benjamin, Lane 3 Dimitri, Lane 4 Emil, Lane 5 Kalim, in Lane 6 Max, Lane 7 Lincoln, Lane 8 Z Cheng, in Lane 9 Matthew, and Lane 10 Zion, excuse me. There was a slight whistle blow there, confusing the swimmers. Some of them leaving slightly early, not to their own fault. They're ready for anything, they're ready to react, so wouldn't consider that their fault. As we have Lane 6 there, Max, who's leading this race. He's really swimming well, got a good 6-speed kick, good elbow bend in his arms, nice fast stroke, great for a 50-meter backstroke. In Lane 2, we have Benjamin, who's in second place. He wants to secure that second place as he has Lane 3, Dimitri, next to him, who gets third place. So very good swimming there and a very good race. And that is the final heat of our men's 50-meter backstroke, as we now move on to the women under 16 50-meter butterfly. In Heat 1, Lane 3 we have Charlotte, Lane 4 Morgan, Lane 5 Orabel, Lane 6 Ruby, Lane 7 Naima, Lane 8 Ella. As we go into our 50-meter butterfly, always a little bit daunting at this age, seen as the hardest stroke and a scary race. And as they get older, they go from the 50-meter fly. Some of them will opt for the 100 and 200-meter fly, so a bit further distance there. But this is where it all starts. The under 16s 50-meter butterfly. Once you get into the rhythm, keeping your hips nice and high, getting your arms over the water, it's not as scary as it may seem. As you get tired, it does have a little bit of a double effect. As your hips start to drop, you struggle to get your arms over the water, which then just makes butterfly even harder. So that's what gives it makes it a little bit scary. But let's see how these young ladies do. They look ready to tackle this 50-meter butterfly. And we are off. We have lane 8 there, Ella, who has gained her way to the front. She's having a look to the left of her as she sees lane 3, Charlotte, and lane 4, Morgan, as they are right behind her, going into the touch. As they have the second 25 of their race left, as they all looking to carry on getting their arms over the water, keep that kick consistent to help them. We see in lane 3 Charlotte with a big kick, assisting her getting those arms over water. As you can see, it's a bit difficult now as you start to get tired. This is what we were talking about earlier, but it looks like it's going to be lane 8 Ella who wins this race, and a close finish between lane 3 Charlotte and lane 4 Morgan, as we have the rest of our swimmers coming through now. And very well done to them to tackle this 50-meter butterfly as they finish their race, and very well done to them. As that brings us onto heat 2 of our women's 50-meter butterfly. In lane 1 we have Blakely, in lane 2 Chloe, lane 3 Gabriella, in lane 4 Ava, lane 5 Sarah, lane 6 Jessica, and lane 7 Anya, lane 8 Paris, lane 9 Isabella, and lane 10 Unam. Some very big cheers there coming from the coaches, getting their swimmers ready to tackle the big 50-meter butterfly, giving them that little bit of motivation they need. As we can see, the last 15 meters, 10 meters, 5 meters, all very difficult of this race. Like we said earlier, you want to keep that kick consistent. You want to keep your hips high, helping you get those arms over the water. Very good reaction time there from Sarah, lane 5. But it is lane 3, Gabriella, who has a great start there, as she finds herself slightly in the lead there. But we have lane 5, and Sarah, and lane 7, Anya, who are fighting back hard, and they want to go into the wall touching first. As we come in for the turn here, as it's the 3 of them, we have lane 7 Anya, lane 5 Sarah, and lane 3 Gabriella, all fighting for that first place. It's going to come down to those last 10 meters and who can hold their stroke together, as these young ladies are swimming extremely well to finish their 50-meter butterfly. As it looks like it's going to be lane 7 Anya who finishes first, followed by lane 3 Gabriella and lane 5 Sarah. Very well done to them. Great swimming. And that brings us onto our next heat, which is heat 3 of the women's 50-meter butterfly. In lane 1 we have Tanya, lane 2 Anya, lane 3 Nolene, lane 4 Landiswe, lane 5 Abigail, lane 6 Abigail, lane 7 Sophia, lane 8 Taryn, lane 9 Hanel, and lane 10 Samantha. Very good start there from lane 8 Taryn as she finds her way ahead of the rest of the field there by about a body length already, as she has lane 2 Anna not far behind her, having a great swim as well there in lane 2. In lane 1 Tanner in third place currently, having all very good swim. As we have a look at lane 8 Taryn, perfect example of how you'd want to swim your butterfly. We see those hips high and those arms flowing over the water there, getting her to the end of her 50-meter butterfly in first place, followed by lane 2 Anna in second place, and lane 3 Tanner in third. Very good swimming from them. In fourth place there we have lane 5 Abigail, that's Abigail Vessels, who's finishing her race, and then followed by Abigail Kuhn in lane 6. So very good swimming from them, as we see the rest of the field there, lane 9 and lane 10, Hanel and Samantha finishing their fly. Very well done to these ladies for finishing their 50-meter butterfly. Some great swimming. Can definitely pat themselves on the back for this one. Bringing us onto heat 4 of the women's 50-meter butterfly, we have lane 1 Blail, lane 2 Kaylin, lane 3 Feliso, lane 4 Ella, lane 5 Delane, lane 6 Leah, lane 7 Charlotte, lane 8 Anika, lane 9 Leah, and lane 10 Idara. Very good start there from lane 4 Ella, as she finds herself in the front after a very good start. And she's going to try hold on to that lead, as she has in lane 8 there Anika chasing her down, going into the wall, and lane 1 Blay having a good swim there as she turns in second place at the moment. She's fighting really hard to try catch lane 4 Ella at the moment. As you see on the far end of the screen there, lane 7 Charlotte having a great last 5 meters of her swim. Very good second 25 from her, and that's going to put her in the lead, as she's going to finish her 50-meter butterfly very strong. That's Charlotte in lane 7, followed by lane 4 Ella and lane 1 Blay, sorry. That bringing us onto heat 6. In lane 1 we have Romy, in lane 2 Amber, lane 3 Gabriella, lane 4 Mika, lane 5 Ngopal, lane 6 Sydney, lane 7 Kiara, lane 8 Zoe, lane 9 Zoe, and lane 10 Lekloklo. A very good start here from the whole field. It's very close at the moment. Going into our second 25, we'll see a few swimmers pull away. So far, we have going into the wall, lane 4, Mika having a very good swim. Right next to her, lane 3, Gabriela right on her tail. Gabriela there in second place, but she is fighting lane 10, Lekloklo, as she is currently in second place. It's going to be very close to Tal, but third place it looks to be lane 5, Nokobal, and the first place going to lane 4, and second place going to lane 10. Please excuse me as we may have mixed up the previous heats and the names, as we're just trying to confirm the current heat we are on. But currently now we have lane 9 in the lead, finishing off very strong, possibly Zoe in lane 9 winning this race. So apologies for that. We did have a mix-up of the heats and names list for the past 2 previous races, but we are confirmed to be on heat 7. In lane 1 we have Kiara, in lane 2 Emma, lane 3 Stella, lane 4 Langa, lane 5 Jolene, lane 6 Ashley, lane 7 Jade, lane 8 Rachel, lane 9 Olivia, and lane 10 Sarah. Very good start there from lane 5 Jolene. As we can see on the blocks there, she is very tall, giving her that little bit of edge, but followed by a great stroke from her. So, and that's all her great work in training coming through. So very well done from Jolene in lane 5 there, as she's followed by lane 7 Jade and lane 8 Rachel. They're having great swims on the outside lane there, fighting for second place. Third place is across the board here between lane 3, 6 and 7, but it is lane 5 Jolene that wins this, followed by lane 7 Jade. So very close swimming there, and very exciting stuff from these young ladies, and that ends us off for the women's 50-meter butterfly. Therefore, bringing us on to our men under 16 50 meter butterfly. In lane 3 we have Luan, in lane 4 we have Leon, in lane 5 we have Race, in lane 6 we have Moklatsi, in lane 7 we have Zachary. We have some swimmers on the side of their pool here congratulating each other. As we said earlier, 50 meter butterfly was a daunting race when starting out, but it's all about getting in the pool, making it through it. So very good swimming from those young ladies to get through it, as we now have the men's 50 meter butterfly to follow. Very good starts there from the middle of the pool from Reis and Mulagisi, and take nothing away from lane 7 there. We have in lane 8 a swimmer who we don't have on our program, but he's having a tremendous swim there. As he's currently in second place, fighting to try catch Race in first place, as he's pushing really hard. Lane 8, who's not on our program, could even win this race here. He's having a tremendous swim. It's going to come down to the touch as they go into the last 2 meters. But it is lane 5 Race who wins that race. So a very close swimming there and very exciting. So well done from them. Parents giving him a thumbs up on the side of the pool. Always a relief to finish your 50 meter butterfly. And that brings us on to Heat 2 of the men's 50 meter butterfly. In lane 1 we have Alex, in lane 2 we have Adriel, lane 3 we have Eton, in lane 4 we have Neil, lane 5 Inching, lane 6 Benjamin, lane 7 Shahil, lane 8 Shamil, in lane 9 Joshua Skien, in lane 10 Joshua Trich. And we are underway of Heat 2 of our men's 50 meter butterfly. In lane 4, Neil has had a very strong 25 meters of his 50-meter butterfly. He uses his kick to get his arms over the water there, turning for his next 25 meters. He's about a body length ahead of the rest of the field, and he's followed by lane 9 there, which is Joshua on the other end of the field, fighting hard in his second 25. And in third place, we have lane 3, Ayrton, finishing really well, as we see lane 4, Neil, getting his arms over to finish his 50-meter butterfly, followed by lane 9, Joshua, finishing off very strong there, and third place goes to lane 3, Ayrton. And that brings us to heat 3 of the men's 50-meter butterfly. In lane 1, we have Nick, lane 2, Ryder, lane 3, Adrit, lane 4, Caden, lane 5, Colby, lane 6, Jan, lane 7, Matthew, lane 8, Thomas, lane 9, Luke, and lane 10, Chime. And the judges now announcing that the women's 50-meter breaststroke should please Marshall. That will be our next event for the day after we get through the men's 50-meter butterfly. As we have Electric Eels dominating this heat at the moment, with lane 10, Chime, there on the end of the pool. He's having a great first 25 meters. As you can see, he's getting those hips nice and high, looking exactly like a dolphin, if you would like to refer to it as that, getting his arms over the water as he is at the last 5 meters of his race. But in second place, we got lane 4, Caden, who's doing really well. He's going to try hold on to that second place as he's getting chased down by the rest of the Electric Eels field, besides from lane 2, Ryder. And second place goes to lane 4, Caden, and third place going to lane 7, Matthew. So very good swimming from the boys there from Electric Eels. And that's bringing us on to heat 4 of the men's 50-meter butterfly. In lane 1, we have Max. Lane 2, Liam. Lane 3, Lincoln. Lane 4, Noah. Lane 5, Caleb. Lane 6, Emil. Lane 7, Alexander. Lane 8, Matthew. Lane 9, William. Lane 10, Matthew. We see a few swimmers have scratched from this heat in the men's 50-meter butterfly, opting to not swim it. There's a few strategies behind it. They may be saving themselves for the breaststroke, or not quite wanting to put themselves through the 50-meter butterfly. There could be various reasons why, but that's allowing lane 7 there, Alexander, with a great swim so far. He's doing really well out in the front there, by the body length ahead of the rest of the field, as he's getting chased down by lane 8, Matthew, followed by lane 10, Matthew. That's lane 8, Matthew van Staden, and lane 10, Matthew Tooth. Catching up to them is lane 3, but it is going to come down to lane 8 between the two Matthews and lane 10, and it is lane 8, Matthew van Staden, who comes second, and lane 10, Matthew Tooth, who comes third. We are now on heat 5 of our men's 50-meter butterfly. In lane 1 we have Arim. In lane 2 we have Benjamin, lane 3 Luke, lane 4 Max, lane 5 Dimitri, lane 6 Zachin, lane 7 Luke, lane 8 Kent, lane 9 Zach, and lane 10 Talin. Great start there from lane 5 Dimitri, as he has the slight edge on lane 4 Max. We'll see what happens in the second 25 meters. Very good turn there from lane 5 Dimitri as he tries to extend his lead as he gets chased down by Max. To take nothing away here from lane 2 Benjamin, and he's fighting back hard. He wants that first place, and it's going to come down to the touch these last 5 meters. Very close race here between lane 5 and 4 and lane 2, but it is lane 4 Max who wins that, followed by lane 5 Dimitri and then lane 2 Benjamin in third place. So that is a very exciting final heat to end us off of the butterfly, as we now move on to the women's under 16 50-meter breaststroke. In lane 4 we have Taylor, lane 5 we have Kayleen, in lane 6 we have Mia. Mia getting a high five there. Sorry, Taylor getting a high five there. She's ready for her race. We have an unidentified swimmer on our program that is in lane 3. Very good start there from lane 5 Kayleen. As we have lane 3, who we unfortunately don't have on our program. She's having a tremendous swim at the moment. She takes the lead by about half a body length. Going into the turn of the first 25 meters, we have a lane 5 Kayleen looking at lane 4 Taylor, as she tries to chase them down, but it is lane 3 who looks very strong so far, having a great second 25 meters of her 50-meter breaststroke, and she's looking to finish her strong as she's getting chased down by lane 4 Taylor, followed by Kayleen in lane 5. As they have their last few strokes into the wall, and it's going to be lane 3 who wins that race, followed by lane 4, and third place will go to lane 5, and fourth place will go to lane 6 Mia. That brings us on to heat 2 of our women's under 16 50-meter breaststroke. In lane 1 we have Naima, in lane 2 we have Falan, in lane 3 we have Orabel, in lane 4 we have Unam, lane 5 Sarah, in lane 6 Mia, lane 7 Blakely, lane 8 Mika, lane 9 Philippa, and lane 10 Ellie. We have heat 2 in the water currently, and heading to the front of the pool, claiming her lead so far, is lane 5, Sarah, as she tries to extend her lead going into the wall for the first 25 meters of their 50-meter breaststroke. But she needs to look out for lane 2, Falan, who touches the wall first, having a good turn there as she goes into the second 25 meters of her 50-meter breaststroke. She'll look to finish strong and hold on to her lead as Sarah in lane 5 chases her down, followed by lane 6, Mia, who's currently in 3rd place. And all the way in lane 10 there, Ellie having a great swim in 4th place, with lane 7, Blakely, in currently fighting for that 3rd place spot. Bringing us on to heat 3. In lane 1 we have Samantha, in lane 2 we have Jade, lane 3 Taryn, lane 4 Jamie, lane 5 Cara, lane 6 Brittany, lane 7 Leafy, lane 8 Anna, lane 9 Jessica, lane 10 Tana. We have the referee sorting through some disqualifications at the moment. In breaststroke, always very important to touch with those 2 hands, both on the turn and when you finish. On going into the turn, swimmers want to turn as fast as possible, so they sometimes tend to forget to touch with 2 hands. They want to just touch with 1 hand and get going straight away. So just always something to remember going into the wall, touching with 2 hands. And possibly when you're tired at the end of your race, you still got to remember to touch with those 2 hands, as you don't want to get disqualified, as everything is then essentially for nothing. You've swum your whole race, done extremely well, and then it's always a great learning curve, but always very disappointing if you are disqualified. Currently in the water, we have heat 3. In lane 3, we have Taryn having a great swim there. As you see, she's in the lead by about half a body length. Following her, she has lane 2, Jade. And then on the other end of the pool there, it looks to be lane 8, Anna, who's currently in 3rd place, having a great swim, but she has a great underwater there, Anna in lane 8, to claim that 2nd place spot, with lane 2, Jade in 3rd place, and lane number 3, Taryn, is going to win this race with a tremendous swim from her, and lane 8, Anna, finishing off very strong there, with lane 10, Tana, having a great swim all the way in lane 10 to claim the 4th place spot. We have the rest of our swimmers coming through now. In lane 4, Jamie and Cara. Bringing us onto heat 4 of our women's under 16 50-meter breaststroke. In lane 1 we have Olivia, in lane 2 we have Anya, in lane 3 Leah, lane 4 Sophia, lane 5 Gabriella, lane 6 Ashley, lane 7 Nina, lane 8 Anika, and lane 9 Isabella, lane 10 Hannah. as we have heat 4 in the water now. Very close contest between all of these swimmers. They're all having a great start, great first 25 meters to their race. We'll see as we go into the turn, as we try to identify a swimmer that starts to pull away in that first place. And it looks like it's going to be lane 6 Ashley and lane 5 Gabriella fighting hard. Very close race we have on our hands here, as you can see, from lane 2 all the way through to lane 7. As we see lane 5 Gabriella, she's got a slight edge on the rest of the field as she's trying to win that first place, as well as the rest of the field. As we have a lane 4 there, Sophia fighting really hard. It's going to come down to the touch between all these swimmers, but it will be lane 5 Gabriella that wins this race. So very good swimming from her, very good swimming from the whole field there. Great swimming from these young ladies, very close and very exciting. As that is going to bring us on to heat 5 of the women's under 16 50 meter breaststroke. In lane 1 we have Leah, in lane 2 we have Annika, in lane 3 we have Ava, in lane 4 we have Layla, in lane 5 Kenzie, in lane 6 Idara, in lane 7 Mika, in lane 8 Paris, lane 9 Charlotte, and lane 10 Annabelle. Very good start and reaction time there from lane 7 Mika, as she finds herself in front of the rest of the field after that great start. But lane 4 Layla having a very great first 25 meters of her 50 meter breaststroke here, and she's going to go into the wall first, as she makes it very clear she's touched with 2 hands. We spoke about the importance of that earlier. And we have another close race on our hands for second place there between lane 5 Kenzie, lane 7 Mika, and lane 9 Charlotte. But it is going to be lane 4 Layla who wins this race, followed closely by lane 5 Kenzie. Very close third place between lane 7 Mika and lane 9 Charlotte. Bringing us onto heat 6. In lane 1 we have Ava, in lane 2 we have Zalika, in lane 3 we have Chloe, lane 4 Lana, lane 5 Queenie, in lane 6 Landiswe, lane 7 Gemma, lane 8 Charlotte, lane 9 Ayla, and lane 10 Hanel. As we can see, we have several scratchings from this race. So currently we only have 5 swimmers in the water at the moment, as lane 3 Chloe comes through nicely, having a good first 25 meters. Very nice controlled stroke there and controlled race from her so far as we go into the wall, as she has Ava in lane 1 next to her. And then we see on the far end of the pool we have lane 7 Gemma and lane 8 Charlotte, as they start catching, especially there Charlotte in lane 8 catching lane 3 Chloe. It's going to come down to this touch as they have their last few strokes into the wall. Who's it going to be? And it will be Chloe in lane 3 who wins that race. Very good swim from her, taking nothing away, from Charlotte in lane 8. That brings us on to heat 7. In lane 1 we have Ella, lane 2 Morgan, lane 3 Rachel, lane 4 Danet, lane 5 Jaden, lane 6 Lalibo, lane 7 Lekloklo, lane 8 Abigail, lane 9 lane 9 Blay, and lane 10 Feliso. As you see, a very good start there from Rachel in lane 3. You see her diving forward, getting nice and high out the water there with some high hips. Almost looks like dolphin there. You've seen that recently between in some of the pro swimmers. They like to get, especially for a 50-meter breaststroke, those hips nice and high. It almost looks like they're doing dolphin. But lane 3 Rachel needs to look out for lane 1 Ella, as she's getting chased down by lane 1 Ella, having a great swim. But lane 5 Jane is fighting really hard to try and get that first place, as she has a look at lane 3 Rachel. Who will it be? It's going to be lane 3 Rachel who wins that race. And to look out for lane 9 Blay and lane 7 Lekloklo, having a great race there as well, finishing off strong. That bringing us onto heat 8. In lane 1 we have Gabriella, in lane 2 Elishiba, in lane 3 Zoe, lane 4 Sophia, lane 5 Serene, lane 6 Yolani, lane 7 Sydney, lane 8 Ava, lane 9 Kiara, and lane 10 Zara. Very good start there from lane 6 Yolan. As she is followed there, lane 5 Serene, as Yolan touches first going into the wall. She's going to look to have a strong second 25 meters. We have lane 1 Gabrielle having a great swim here, followed by lane 3 Zoe and lane 5 Serene. Our race leader so far, lane 6 Yolan, and lane 7 Sydney doing well, and all the way in lane 10 there's Zara finishing off strong. So a very good swim from these young ladies. As we make our way to heat 9, in lane 1 we have Nolani, lane 2 Delane, lane 3 Celine, lane 4 Gabriella, lane 5 Stella, lane 6 Ruby, lane 7 Amber, lane 8 Zoe, lane 9 Langa, and lane 10 Abigail. Very big underwaters there from lane 5 Stella, as she has Gabriella in lane 4 chasing her down. But we have lane 1 Nolene who touches first. Next to her in lane 2 Delane, all having a very big swim at the moment, with big underwaters there again from lane 5 Stella, who's fighting hard, as she has Gabriella next to her looking for that number 1 spot. But it's going to be a close race between lane 1, 2, 4 and 5, saying that lane 7 coming through Amber It's going to be a very close race. Who's going to get it? It is lane 3, Celine. No, the board is wrong. There is no lane 3 swimmer at the moment, so we do not actually know who ended up winning that race. But that will bring us on to our final heat, Heat 10. In lane 1 we have Daniela, lane 2 Sarah, lane 3 Nokobal, in lane 4 Paige, lane 5 Ashley, lane 6 Romy, lane 7 Emma, lane 8 Olivia, lane 9 Kayleen, and lane 10 Kiara. We see in lane 3 there Nokobal, her goggles unfortunately coming off, her parents' mouth in there, oh no, as we have lane 4 winning this race, Paige, followed by lane 5 Ashley, and currently in third place is lane 7 Emma, but it's going to be between Paige and Ashley, and it goes to Paige there with a very good swim. And that is the end of our women's under 16 50 meter breaststroke, which will bring us onto our men's 16 and under 50 meter breaststroke. In lane 1 we have DeAndre, lane 4 Connor, lane 5 Cole, lane 6 Luke, and lane 7 Christian. We now are on heat 2 of the men's under 16 50 meter breaststroke. In lane 1 we have Patrick, lane 2 Zachary, lane 3 Joshua, lane 4 Alex, lane 5 Samuel, lane 6 Joshua, lane 7 Omar, lane 8 Reis, lane 9 Mulachezi, lane 10 Jacques. very good reaction time there from lane 6 Joshua as he gets his race underway. But it is lane 5 Samuel who has great underwaters there as he tries to find his way into the lead. We have lane 2 and lane 3, that's Zachary and Joshua having a great swim there in second and third place. As we go into the wall for our first 25 meters, there's a close race between lane 5 Zachary, lane 6 Joshua, and lane 3 Joshua as well. That's Joshua Skin in lane 6 and Joshua Tritsky in lane 3. It is going to be a close finish here as it goes to lane 6 Joshua Skin who wins that race. Which brings us on to heat 3 of our men's 50-meter breaststroke. In lane 1 we have Nick, in lane 2 we have Henku, in lane 3 we have Philip, in lane 4 we have Luan, in lane 5 we have Olarato, lane 6 we have Luke, lane 7 Oliver, lane 8 Jason, lane 9 Chime, and lane 10 Neil. We have a very good start there and big swim from the end of the pool there. Lane 9 Chime and lane 10 Neil as they lead this race. And it's lane 10 Neil who we've seen had a great gala so far. And lane 10 Neil's goals are also off, but he's not letting that slow him down as he's concentrating on his own race. He's looking to win this, but he's getting chased down by lane 9 Chime who's fighting back hard. He wants to win this race. It's going to come down right to the touch. You don't want to shorten your stroke when it comes to breaststroke, especially when you get tired. They're in the last 3 meters of the race. It's going to come down to the touch, and it is lane 10 Neil who wins that one, and a lane 9 Chime who places second. As we see the rest of our swimmers now coming through. In third place we have lane 4 Luan, who is followed by lane 5 Olarato, both having a great swim. Fourth place is lane 7 Oliver, and next to him is lane 8 Jason as they come through to finish off their 50-meter breaststroke. We are now on heat 4 of the men's 50-meter breaststroke. In lane 1 we have Leon, in lane 2 we have Benjamin, lane 3 Luke, lane 4 Jonathan, lane 5 Travis, lane 6 Tyrone, lane 7 Adrit, lane 8 Nokosisanti, lane 9 Max, and lane 10 Michael. As we can see, another Electric Eels dominant race as we have lane 3 Luke and lane 4 Jonathan finding their way to the front as we go into the wall for our first 25 meters of our 50-meter breaststroke. And look out for Leon in lane 1 as he's currently in second place. He's looking to grab first here. He's wanting to catch up to lane 4 Jonathan, as we'll see if they can hold it for the last 15 meters of their race. as they are fighting hard. We have lane 4, Jonathan, holding on to his lead. He has a look across the pool, looking out for Leon in lane 1. And in lane 3, we have Luke looking around, make sure that no one's going to grab his third place from him. And across the end of the pool there, it's lane 7 in 4th, Adriat, and lane 6, Tyrone, who's all having a great swim, very close on the opposite end of the pool there between lane 8, 9, and 10. So great close swimming and exciting stuff. And after that exciting race brings us on to Heat 5. In lane 1 we have Adriel, lane 2 Deacon, lane 3 Sunyan, in lane 4 Aram, in lane 5 Christian, lane 6 Matthew, lane 7 Max, lane 8 Tristan, lane 9 Zane, and lane 10 DA. Very good start there from lane 6 Matthew, who finds his way to, in the beginning of the race, first place, but that has now been taken by lane 2 Deacon, who's having a great first 25 meters of his 50-meter breaststroke as he turns into the wall first with a good turn, followed next to him by Sunyan in lane 3. Sunyan having an awesome race, a great Gala so far, as he's in second place, as he has their lane 5 Christian fighting back hard. Is currently in third place. Fourth place is lane 4 Arham at the moment, but it is going to be a lane 2 Deacon who wins this race. It's going to be close for second, and it is going to be lane 3 Suyan who claims his second place spot. So very good swimming from these young men, close race all around. And that will bring us onto Heat 6 of the men's 50-meter breaststroke. In Heat 6, in lane 1 we have William, lane 2 Zach, lane 3 Thomas, lane 4 Colby, lane 5 Ryder, lane 6 Ayrton, lane 7 Noah, lane 8 Jan, lane 9 Liam, and lane 10 Benjamin. Very good strong start there from lane 5 Ryder, who has lane 4 Colby looking at him in the beginning, but it is lane 3 Thomas having a great swim there for his first 25 meters, taking nothing away from lane 8 across the pool there. Zian, who turns in it looks like first place. He's currently leading at the moment, but we have lane 3 Thomas fighting really hard to gain that lead back, as he's about a boy length ahead of the rest of the field, but it's going to be close, as you see in lane 10 there Benjamin coming through nicely, having a strong second half of his race. It's going to be a close toucher, you can see, very close race. Who's it going to go to? It's going to go to lane 8. Zian comes through to win that race, so very exciting stuff, very close race, and great swimming from these young men. As we going to then move on to Heat 7 of our men's 50-meter breaststroke. In lane 1 we have Lincoln, in lane 2 Shahil, lane 3 Adam, lane 4 Matthew, lane 5 Talon, lane 6 Max, lane 7 Noah, lane 8 Cruz, lane 9 Alexander, and lane 10 Matthew. Shahil's coach giving him some good motivation there, shouting for him. We have a great start there from Matthew in lane 4, but we have lane 5 Tallinn coming through there nicely, with lane 3 Adam fighting really hard with a great stroke there as they go into the turn for the first 25 meters. It is lane 5 Tallinn who turns first, followed by lane 3 Adam, and close before a lane third place between lane 4, 6 and lane 9 on the other end of the pool. Lane 9 is Alexander there, having a great swim, but it's going to be Tallinn in lane 5 who wins this race. Second place going to Adam, and third place going to lane 9 Alexander on the opposite end of the pool. So a very good swim from him. He'll be happy with that one. That brings us onto our last heat of the men's 50 meter breaststroke, which is heat 8. In lane 1 we have Caden, in lane 2 Luke, lane 3 Benjamin, lane 4 Emil, lane 5 Caleb, lane 6 Zaicheng, lane 7 Dimitri, lane 8 Incheng, lane 9 Luke, and lane 10 Kent. As you can see from this race, we have a few scratchings at the moment. So the whole middle of the pool is not swimming, but we have lane 7 Dimitri having a great swim so far, taking nothing away from lane 3 Benjamin, who turns into the wall first as he's chased down by Caden in lane 1 in second place and Luke in lane 2. But it is across the pool there, Dimitri in lane 7, fighting for that number 1 spot. It's going to come down to the touch once again. We have a great race going on between lane 9 Luke and lane 10 Kent. But it is lane 3 Benjamin who finishes very strong to win that race. Very well done to him. And that concludes our men's 50 meter breaststroke. And that is the end of our 50 meter events. We are now moving on to the women under 16 100 meter freestyle. In heat 1 we have Micah, in lane 3 we have Abigail, lane 4 Philan, in lane 5 Paris, lane 6 Morgan, lane 7 Annika, lane 8 Naima, and lane 9 Charlotte.
Great swim by these ladies in their first heat of the 100-meter freestyle. Up next in heat 2, in lane 1 we have Isabella, lane 2 Arabile, lane 3 Unam, lane 4 Brittany, lane 5 Paige, lane 6 Ruby, lane 7 Madison, lane 8 Chloe, lane 9 Charlotte, and lane 10 Zoe.
So far we're having a great race from lane 5 Paige, and across the other end of the pool there, lane 9 Charlotte and lane 10 Zoe. Charlotte in lane 9 seems to have taken the lead as we go into our last turn of the 100-meter freestyle. Charlotte in lane 9 really fighting hard, just bringing it home nicely with a big 6-speed kick. It seems as if lane 5 Paige has seen her and also fighting back hard as they go into the last 5 meters of this race. It's going to be a close one. Come down to the touch again. Paige puts her head down to try win that race, and she does indeed. Great strategy from her, not breathing into the wall, putting her head down and keeping that stroke rate high, making sure she wins. I'll have this one here ready. We are now on heat 3 of our women's 100-meter freestyle. In lane 1 we have Ava, lane 2 Mia, lane 3 Landiswe, lane 4 Jaden, lane 5 Jessica, lane 6 Hanal, lane 7 Samantha, lane 8 Zoe, lane 9 Anya, lane 10 Zara. As we start off our race, the women's 100-meter freestyle in lane 8, we had a great start there from Zoe as she finds her way to the front immediately, but she's been chased down by lane 1 Ava, lane 2 Mia, and lane 4 Jaden. But it is lane 8 currently, Zoe, who's in the front, and she's looking to hold on to her lead as she turns at the 50-meter mark. As she's followed by lane 4 Jadine, lane 2 Mia, and lane 1 Ava. Lane 1 Ava having a great swim on the outside lane as she's in second place, with Mia right on her shoulder there, as Jadine in lane 4 is fighting back hard as well. But it is lane 8 Zoe who's just extended her lead, brought in her 6-speed kick to bring it home, and she's finishing off strong. But lane 1 Ava, she turns on the pedals and she's coming home hard. She's really bringing it home as she extends her gap on lane 2 Mia. Mia swimming very well, and we have lane 4 Jadine, who is looking for that third place spot. She wants to be on the podium, and it is second place going to Ava, and it's going to be third place going to lane 4, Jadine. We have the rest of our swimmers coming through now, with Samantha in lane 7. You can see her finishing strong, really pushing for that last 5 meters of her 100-meter freestyle. So well done to her, and both her and Hanel in lane 6. That brings us onto heat 4 of our women's 100-meter freestyle. In lane 1 we have Tana, in lane 2 we have Anna, in lane 3 we have Onika. In lane 4 we have Elashiba, lane 5 Kiara, lane 6 Taryn, lane 7 Danit, lane 8 Ashley, lane 9 Idara, and lane 10 Sarah. Great start there from Taryn in lane 6, as she's already a body length ahead. She has a great stroke going into the wall for her first 25 meters, nice and controlled, good consistency of her kick, reaching all the way forward and finishing her stroke out at the back, as she is followed by lane 8 Ashley. And on the close end of the pool, lane 2, Anna having a great swim, as Anna's in third place, and lane 8, Ashley currently in second place. It's close competition for fourth place between lane 1, Tana, and lane 3, Onika. But it is all eyes on lane number 6, Taryn, who has extended her lead, finishing off strong. You can see she's brought in that 6-speed kick, and she's bringing it home, followed by, well, it's going to be a close race from lane 2 and lane 8. We'll have to see who gets it in the touch, and it looks like it's lane 2 Anna who comes second, and lane 8 Ashley in third. Turn it off. We are now on heat 5 of the women's under 1600-meter freestyle. In lane 1 we have Delane, in lane 2 we have Leah, in lane 3 we have Bile, in lane 4 we have Leah, in lane 5 we have Mika, in lane 6 we have Layla, in lane 7 we have Layla, in lane 8 Celine, lane 9 Feliso, and lane 10 Nolene. Currently in the water in the lead, we have lane 6 Mika, who's doing well. You'll see them on your screen shortly, as lane 6 Mika is followed by lane 5 Ella, who's in second place. But lane 1 Delane having a great swim so far, as they go into their second 50 of their 100-meter freestyle race. As you see on our screen now, we have lane 5 and 6 battling it out. That's Ella and Mika as they turn for their 50 meters at the halfway mark. A close race for third place between lane 2 Leah and lane 3 Blay. but it is lane 6, Mika, in the lead at the moment as she turns at the 75 meter mark for her last 25, as she has Ella in lane 5 fighting hard to try claim that number 1 spot at the moment. But it is lane 6, Mika, trying to hold her off. Very close for 3rd place, as we have lane 2, Leah and Blaine in lane 3 fight for that 3rd place spot. But in lane 7 we have Layla, who's had a very strong last 25 here. She's looking to find that 3rd place spot. It's going to come right down to the touch. We'll see who gets it. And that 3rd place is going to go to lane 3, Blay. Very close race there and very strong finishes from these young ladies. Well done to them. We are now on heat 6 of our women's 100 meter freestyle. In lane 2 we have Gabriela, lane 2 Olivia, lane 3 Lana, lane 4 Serene, lane 5 Mokabal, in lane 6 Sydney, lane 7 Amber, lane 8 Kayleen, lane 9 Stella, and lane 10 Leclerc. Starting us off, we have lane 2 Olivia, who takes the lead going into the first 25 meters of her race. Very close race for 2nd spot there. Too close to tell at the moment. We'll have to see what happens after at the 50 meter mark and see who can bring it home for that last 50 meters. We saw in the last race how important that last 25 is, and if you have a strong second half of your race, how that can impact the results and your race. As we see now, exactly what we're saying, that second half of the race so important, as we see the top 4 contending for that number 1 spot going into the last 25 meters of their 100 meter freestyle. That is lane 2 Olivia, lane 6 Sydney, lane 7 Amber, and lane 9 Stella, all fights for that number 1 spot. In saying that, a great turn from Amber in lane 7 as she edges ahead there, but coming back hard is lane 6 there, Sydney. She really wants that number 1 spot, but it looks like it's going to be lane 7 Amber who wins this race, followed by lane 6 Sydney, who comes 2nd, and lane 9 Stella in 3rd. That brings us on to the final heats of our women's 100 meter freestyle, which is heat 7. In lane 8 we have Kiara, lane 2 Langa, lane 3 Rachel, lane 4 Sarah, lane 5 Jolene, lane 6 Romy, lane 7 Emma, lane 8 Quinny, in lane 9 Daniela, and lane 10 Gemma. We have a few scratch-ins from this race as well, but nothing to worry about it. We have lane 5 Jolene, who goes straight to the front. She's now in the lead by a whole body length after the first 25 meters. As we can see how important that second 50 is. So we'll see what happens in the rest of this race. But lane 10 Gemma having a great swim. We've seen her have a great gala the whole of today, as she's turned 2nd. She'll want to try catch Jolene in lane 5. Let's see if she's able to do so in the second 50. In 3rd place we have lane 7 Emma, who's doing extremely well. with lane 3 Rachel fighting back hard the second 50. She's going to want to try claim that third place spot, but there's all eyes on Jolene in lane 5 as she extends her lead. A strong second 50 from her. She doesn't want to give up her number 1 spot. Takes nothing away from Gemma in lane 10. She's done an outstanding swim, fighting really hard. As we see now on our screen, we have lane 3 Rachel really wanting that podium spot. She's coming back strong for her last 25 meters. They've got about 5 meters to go. Is she going to be able to catch lane 7 Emma? The third place will go to lane 7 Emma, but a great swim from Rachel in lane 3. Very well done to her, as that concludes our women's 100 meter freestyle. Moving on to the men's under 16 100 meter freestyle in heat 1, we have lane 4 DeAndre, lane 5 Jacques, lane 6 Travis. Very good start in a race so far, as we see lane 4 DeAndre and lane 5 Jacques straight to the lead, both opting for the touch turn, as well as lane 6 Travis, as they make their way towards their second 50 of this race. They are looking at each other, breathing to the same direction. They're going to want to both win this race, so it's going to be great content between the two of them as they turn at the 50 meter mark, both touching. Lane 4 DeAndre turning the way of Jacques in lane 5, being able to see where he is currently, and they're going to try and finish the second 50 off strong to claim the first place. As we saw there, a very good race between these two young men, DeAndre and Jacques in lane 5, as lane 4 DeAndre takes that win, taking nothing away from lane 5 Jacques as he fights really hard for that second place, and well done to lane 6 Travis on the third place. That brings us on to heat 2 of our men's 100 meter freestyle. In lane 1 we have Zian, in lane 2 we have Luan, in lane 3 Benjamin, lane 4 Nathan, lane 5 Zane, lane 6 Zachary, lane 7 Murachezi, lane 8 Jason, lane 9 Luke, and lane 10 Cole. As we see on the close end of the screen there, we've had a great start from lane 1, 2 and 3, which is Zian, Luan and Benjamin. As Zian turns first, he's got about body length on the rest of the field. As in second place there we have Benjamin in lane 3. Third place is going to be a battle between lane 4 Luan and lane 5 Zane, as they head towards the 50 meter mark of this race, as anything can change in the next 50. You see Benjamin in lane 3 catching Zian there, closing that gap. We hear some cheering from the crowd, cheering on Benjamin. He's had a great swim so far, as he takes the lead there from Zian as they go into the last turn. great turn from lane 1 Zian there as he tries to reclaim his lead on lane 3 Benjamin, but Benjamin is fighting strong. He's had a really well constructed race here as he finishes first and will win this race. We have lane 5 Zane fighting really hard to try and get that second place spot from Zian in lane 1, but it will be Zian in lane 1 who gets it. He's in second, and great swim from Zane in lane 5. Very strong finish from him as lane 6 Zachary comes in fourth, excuse me. That brings us on to Heat 3 of our men's 100 meter freestyle. In lane 1 we have Umar. In lane 2 we have Alex. Lane 3 Adriel. In lane 4 Matthew. Lane 5 Eton. Lane 6 Shahil. Lane 7 Matthew. Lane 8 Adriat. In lane 9 Race. And lane 10 Joshua. Very good start there from Joshua in lane 10. Some good reaction times that puts him straight in front. But he is getting chased from lane 4, Matthew. But it's all eyes on Joshua in lane 10 at the moment as he's going to turn first going into the first 25 meters of this 100 meter freestyle race. Followed by lane 4, Matthew in third place. Lane 5, Eton. And lane 6 is currently Shahil. Fifth place at the moment is Alex, having a great swim in lane 2 as lane 10 Joshua turns at the 50 meter mark, followed by lane 4, 5 and 6. That is lane 4 Matthew, 5 Eton, and lane 6 Shahil. Lane 10 Joshua trying to hold on to his lead, but he has lane 4 Matthew closing that gap as Joshua turns for the last leg of his 100 meter freestyle race. And great underwaters there from Eton in lane 5 as he's fighting for second place, but Shahil in lane 6 finishing off very strong. It's going to be a very close race here for second place as these boys are having an incredible swim so far. Shahil's parents across cheering and clapping for him. Can he get the second place? It's going to come right down to the touch. Let's see what the board says. Second place goes to lane 6, Shahil. What a great swim from him. His parents are very impressed with that. He can be proud of that swim too. Fighting very hard at the end there. Great swim from him, taking nothing away from lane 5, Eton, and lane 4, Matthew, all having a great swim. An outstanding swim there from lane 10, Joshua, who wins that race. That brings us on to Heat 4 of our men's 100 meter freestyle. In lane 1 we have Noah, in lane 2 Benjamin, lane 3 Neil, lane 4 Nick, lane 5 Thomas, lane 6 Max, lane 7 Chime, lane 8 Incheng, in lane 9 Liam, and lane 10 Samuel. As Heat 4 is underway, we have lane 7, Chime, having a great swim so far. He's looking in great control of his race as he turns after the first 25 meters of his 100-meter freestyle, and followed by lane 3, Neil, and lane 4, Nick. Lane 3, Neil, bringing in a big kick there early. He's wanting to try catch lane 7, Chime. He's going to have to put in a lot of work there as Chime extends his lead, and on the second half of Chime's race, he's really broadened the legs, increased his stroke rate on the arms, having a great swim. Great technique there from the young man, as well as he extends his lead. And there in lane 10, Samuel having a great race as he's claimed the 3rd place spot. He's doing extremely well there in lane 10. But it's going to be a lane 7, Chime, who's going to win this race, followed by a lane 3, Neil. Nick, unfortunately, not able to finish the race there. We think he may have choked on some water or something, which is never nice. We hope he's all well. But it is lane 10 there, Samuel finishing in 3rd. He's had a great swim. Very well done to him. As the rest of the swimmers, lane 5, Thomas, and lane 6, Max, finish their 100-meter freestyle. As they finish their race, that brings us on to Heat 5. In lane 1, we have Deacon. In lane 2, Alexander. Lane 3, Colby. Lane 4, Cruz. Lane 5, Aram. Lane 6, Max. Lane 7, Ryder. Lane 8, Kent. Lane 9, Matthew. And lane 10, Zach. As Heat 5 gets underway, there's some big kicks and splashes coming through from across the pool as lane 6 Max and lane 5 Aram make their way to the front. Lane 7 Ryder there in 3rd place as they turn at the 25-meter mark, but it is lane 6 Max having a great swim as he extends his lead by a half a body length, followed by lane 8, that is, who's Kent, who's having a great swim there. He's in 2nd place at the moment at the 50-meter mark. Let's see what he can do the second half of his race. He would want to try come back at Max in lane 6, who's currently winning the race and looking to extend his lead, but he is getting chased down by Kent in lane 8. And in 3rd place, we have Aram in lane 5. Max winning the race currently. He is finishing off strong, keeping his stroke together, as we see Aram in lane 5 having a great last 25 of his race to claim that 2nd place spot, as lane 8 Kent finishes off strong there to claim the 3rd place spot, and 4th place going to lane 9 Matthew. A great swim from him on the outside. And in saying that, that brings us to our last event of the day, which is Heat 6, the men's under 16 100-meter freestyle. In lane 1 we have Luke, in lane 2 we have Tullen, in lane 3 we have Lincoln, in lane 4 Emil, lane 5 Caleb, in lane 6 Zai Cheng, in lane 7 Dimitri, lane 8 Caden, lane 9 Luke, and lane 10 Benjamin. We're just waiting for them to reset the timer before we can get our last race underway. We look to have it sorted, so we're going to have heat 6 in the water shortly. See a few scratchings from the middle lane here again. We've seen lane 7 Dimitri have an outstanding Gala so far. Let's see if he can continue this great streak to end it off on a great 100-meter freestyle. And straight away, a great start there from lane 7 Dimitri as he finds his way to the front. But a great swim so far from lane 1 Luke as he turns into the wall second there. Dimitri in lane 7 opting for the tumble turn. Luke in lane 1 doing a touch turn. We'll see what the second half of this race holds for us. We have lane 2 there, Thailand having a great swim as well. And across the pool there in lane 8, Caden, lane 9, Luke, and lane 10, Benjamin, all battling it out as they try to get themselves on the podium there. But we have Luke in lane 1 here. He's fighting really hard to catch Dimitri in lane 7. It looks like Luke in lane 1 has just edged, got the lead there, got the edge on Dimitri in lane 7. Dimitri fighting back hard though, but it looks like it's going to be Luke in lane 1. Third place is going to be very close as we have Thailand in lane 2 fighting really hard, but on the other end of the pool it's Luke and Benjamin who will get that third place. Looks like it's going to be Thailand in lane 2, and then it will go to Luke and Benjamin on the other end of the pool. Great race from them. Very exciting things to end off this gala, and we'd just like to thank you for joining us at the Wahoo Level 1 Series Gala, and we will catch you next time. If we will see you again, and don't forget to tune in on the 17th of March, and we'll see you again there. Thank you and goodbye.